The Daniel Profeta channel is made possible by supporters over on Patreon and by viewers like you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are going to be continuing the Monument Mythos, which, if you're unaware, is a analog horror series that kind of uses an alternate history of America to show us true horrors, as though the regular history of America and also most other countries doesn't already have true horror. I'm hilarious. This evening I was thinking about what should we do on the channel tonight, and I was a little stuck, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just continue the one that's been my favorite out of everything we've been watching recently so far. So we're going to watch a few more of the videos from the channel Manticore. As always, link to the original videos will be down below in the description. And before we even get started, I just want to really drive home. This is like might end up being my favorite analog horror series so far. It is so cool, so good, and also kind of funny. I really like that. I like that it doesn't take itself overly seriously, because I feel like the nature of the genre is a little bit silly at times. Like, it can have really good atmosphere. There's a lot of stuff about it that's scary or disturbing, but then also like the basic premise of a lot of these videos and the way that it's kind of presented can be a little silly. So watching an island come to attack the mainland or whatnot that we saw in the last video was hilarious. And yeah, anyway, so this one's called Air Force One Angel. Let's go. It's a little shorter. On August 17th, 2003, Air Force One made an unannounced trip across the continental United States. Many civilians claim to have seen the aircraft drop packages on various national monuments. Ah, Monument Mythos. I see what you did there. Look at him. He looks friendly. I don't know why, but I like the way airplanes look with the... It looks like they've got a mouth and eyes. I don't know. He looks like a dolphin. The dolphin of the skies. I wonder what these packages are that it's dropping off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did you see the spots start to grow from the last... Yep. Wonder what's in those packages, guys. At least we get to listen to some chill music. You know what's crazy? In the is that a symbol of any kind? Not really. At least none that I recognize. The video on the Mandala catalog... No, not the Mandala catalog. The video on Gemini Home Entertainment got uploaded first. YouTube was kind enough to scan it for more than an hour, then let me know that it was good to upload, and then I uploaded it, and then it got like 3 or 4 copyright claims all at once for music that I did a bit of research on and is all fair use in the public domain music that some company, or more likely just random person, is fraudulently claiming. And yeah, so that was fun. That was fantastic. And it sucks. And anyways, the main reason I'm bringing it up though is because now the videos, I'm pretty sure, have awkward footage of me kind of dancing to absolutely nothing happening, which, you know what, is that's a good outcome. I think that's hilarious. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you should go watch it. You should really watch it for the Gemini Home Entertainment, but also for that. I love the blurry footage. I'm a really big fan of not knowing what I'm looking at. In these videos, I should just start headbanging when there's no music happening. White House officials later disclosed that the unusual flight of Air Force One was unauthorized and unmanned. Unmanned? What? The lone figure seen inside the plane, dubbed the Air Force One Angel, has yet to be identified by federal authorities. What on earth? Oh, that's it. Okay. Cool. Alright, Lincoln Looker.
I was a Lincoln Looker for 2 weeks. It was terrifying. One moment you're at home answering the door, and the next you're stuck in some kind of suit.
What's the name of this? The name of this episode is Lincoln Looker. Okay.
In there, and the metal seat was
Lincoln Looker.
So cold.
Frankenhooker.
The only thing you can do is look through 2 little holes.
Looking through little
It
holes.
was some kind of mask, and whenever the sun shined near, I could see the inside of it. It was a familiar face. Every few nights,
This is the Lincoln
straws would be
Memorial,
put through the holes,
obviously.
And someone would feed me some weird soup. After 2 weeks, they found out that they had misidentified me, and I wasn't the correct Lincoln Looker.
Maya's being fed the Luna juice, guys. There is no hope left.
Reagan apologized to me personally, and I was released with some monetary compensation. They don't care if I talk about it or not. No one would take me seriously. Lincoln looking is just too absurd.
Huh. Mask. Drawn by Maya. So you're put inside a suit? By who?
There's always that someone that we dislike more than everyone else. Not usually famous or important, but they've done something that's affected us personally. Often you're the only person who remembers this act. And I've been that bad, but memory hurts. Everyone experiences this, and the president is no exception. Except he can do something about it. Every president can choose one person to be a Lincoln Looker. After the alibi is fabricated, the person is abducted from their home, and they stay a Lincoln Looker for as long as the president sits in
What
office.
the hell?
Nobody can question his decision, and there's no trial. You might be surprised, but it's nothing new. It's been a tradition.
Like a hazing
Lincoln Lookers
tradition.
have been around for a very long time.
Due to rumors that Lincoln Lookers were imprisoned behind presidential portraits, oh damn, White House officials publicly removed and reinstalled the portraits. Portrait 1. Wall behind Portrait 1. Huh. Portrait 2. The wall behind Portrait 2. That's crazy, so you're just stuck behind Howard Melrose.
Hello, we're not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
I feel like the eyes are watching me.
Hey, Eunice. It's Howard. I don't know what I just saw. I was at the top of the steps, reading the inscriptions and talking to visitors, when I started to hear a faint scratching sound. I didn't think much of it at first, but when I got close to the chair, I realized that the scratching was coming from inside the marble. So I went to a guard and asked whether she could do anything about animals that could be trapped in there. She told me not to worry about it.
I don't think it's an animal, guys.
There were fewer visitors. A few minutes passed, and the scratching became much louder. I went back to the guard and asked what kind of animals usually got stuck in there, and she said, wild animals.
The most
The
wild
sound started to make visitors anxious.
of any animal. A
I
human
remember
being.
one boy is pulling so hard at his mother's hand, begging to leave. A blind girl with one of those canes went up to the chair and pressed her head against it to listen. Then she started crying. Her parents tried to pull her away, but she just began to hit the chair with her cane. That's when the guards asked everyone to go back down the steps. I don't know why, and it's going to sound crazy, but I felt compelled to help. So I went to the blind girl and joined her in hitting the marble. The guards tried to pin us down, but the scratching became too loud for even them. It sounded like someone was shaving down a chalkboard. Eventually the marble began to crack, and a few more hits caused the crevice to expand all the way to the top of the chair. There was a sudden burst of air from the damage, and the head suddenly turned toward us.
Oh my god.
I was afraid it would fall, so I picked the girl up and went down a few steps. The head slowly rotated back into place, and when it started to be pushed upwards, I took out my camera. It was no wild animal.
It was a human. It was a person. Crazy testimony. He recorded the following images. Oh, damn. The head moving back. Whoa. Something was coming up behind it. That one was kind of... First of all, it's kind of hilarious that the president is literally just thinks of someone that they dislike. And it's like, you know what? Fuck that guy. Get them. Throw them in the statue. And for the entirety of my presidency, so for 4 to 8 years, you're just going to be stuck in there. That's hilarious and nuts. But I wonder if 4 years of being trapped inside a monument and being force-fed some sort of soup is going to change a person, you know? Because what we just saw come out of there didn't look very human to me, in my personal opinion. Very interesting. That was Lincoln Looker. The next one is the Washington wormhole. The special tree.
The forest fell swiftly as the lumberjack swung.
I like reading.
Except for the special tree, which could not be stung. She missed her friends and the hymns they sung. So she started a tune that broke the man's lung.
Typical reaction to missing your friends is to writing a tune. Timeline of events. Give me the timeline. Give me the lore. What do we got? Oh, is this... Okay, this is a tree. This is the first photograph of the special tree. 1840. All right. 1848. Oh, wow. We immediately started building around it. Construction begins. Okay. I wonder who planted the tree, or did it just appear? Because if we started building around it immediately afterwards, it sounds as though from 61 to 65, construction continues. Oh, sorry. No, the exact opposite of that. Halts due to the American Civil War. Prisoners of war are seen being led into the unfinished tower. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Wonder what happened in there. Okay, 1888. Construction is completed. We have an obelisk now. Strange. Terrifying. 1910. Visit the Washington Monument and listen closely. There's music within the walls. The Washington Monument finally became a major tourist attraction. 10 cents per head. Ha. Ha. I wonder if the tree eats people. Sorry. I'm trying to be funny. From 1910 to 1971, we've got 20 individuals disappeared while visiting the Washington Monument. The missing visitors are known as Washington absentees. It's a funny way of putting that. Then in 1972, we have the Washington Standard Operation, classified film leaked by news agencies. Is that a real film? Oh, we're about to see it. Never mind. Okay, there's the entrance door. Why does it look like a castle? Well, not a castle, but like, why does this look medieval? And then they drop an anvil on your head. Literally. No, sorry. It's a hoisting cable. Okay. They drop you like an anvil on someone else's head. Inside the massive erection of a building. Sound waves. Did I say erection of a building? I mean erected building. Then you're dropped. Jesus. the sound waves like knock you out or what? That's just a conspiracy. That's just a theory. Oh. Something is nigh. The Washington Monument is vandalized. What does that say? Something is nigh. The music of Washington will... The infection is nigh. The music of Washington will end. Alright, so we've heard about an infection through graffiti multiple times now, correct? If I'm remembering correctly from literally 2 days ago. 2003, the year I was born. Whoa, guys. Daniel Profeta was born. Woo! The infection is nigh. The music of Washington will end. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, we've now heard about infection multiple times in the series. 2003. Ah, the year I was born. That's crazy. I love... What the fuck? What the hell? What? Jesus Christ, dude. What? Why is that in there? Okay. So in 2003, we got some more blurry footage of the monument. Uh-oh. Is the tree starting to peek out? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wow. All 19 Washington absentees are found unconscious at the base of the monument. Was it 19? Hold on. Wait. I don't remember it being 19. Was it 19 people? Am I crazy? 20 individuals. There wasn't 19. Dude, can we watch this part again? That was so sick. Wow. That's so creepy. That might be my favorite moment of the series so far. Other than James Dean is the president. That was fantastic. Okay. Cool. Nice. Alright, that was the Washington wormhole. Alright, this one's called Delaware Double. Delaware River Journal.
An accidental discovery made by two fishermen has sent shockwaves across the nation.
Not shockwaves.
Around 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve, Ralph Grassman and Michael Tillman were reeling in the last batch of catfish when something on the ice caught their eye. It looked like a bicorn, one of those hats from way back when, said Grassman, the other of the two who had also organized the trip. Grassman walked down the ice to retrieve the hat. When he pulled back the hat from the ice, tumbled back in shock at the sight of a human scalp, partially exposed in the ice.
Goddamn.
Tillman walked over and after a brief discussion with Grassman, agreed to remove the rest of the body from the ice. The effort took several hours, but by 10 p.m. the fishermen were able to pull the entire body from the ice with no further damage. Although both men had presumed that the individual was already dead for some time, Tim exclaimed in shock when he reportedly saw the individual's eyelid twitch.
I think it's just the nervous system still working.
To immediately take the individual's
Did we see the eye for 1 second there? Show me the money. I mean the eye. Come on, brother. There we go. Look at that. Oh, wow. Damn. He does not look happy. He's sleepy.
Grassman suggests to immediately take the body home in an attempt to revive the frozen man. They proceed to carry it back to Grassman's apartment. They laid the body in a full bathtub, gradually raising the water's temperature throughout the night to prevent shock.
Is he gonna revive?
Grassman learned this technique from a pulp magazine he had read as a child. At 2 a.m. the following morning, Tillman claimed that an individual briefly regained consciousness and shouted, "Victory or death," while Grassman arrested in the living
Give me
room.
victory or give me
At 7
death.
a.m. the frozen individual appeared to have relapsed into a deep coma, which prompted Grassman to phone the local authorities. And that's why he hadn't called medical personnel earlier. Grassman told reporters that he didn't want to risk the lives of the first responders, who had been driving on slippery roads in the dark. Shortly after being phoned,
Weird.
paramedics arrived and rushed the frozen man to the Delaware State Hospital. Throughout the experience, both fishermen thought that the individual's face seemed vaguely familiar. It was only when Tillman pulled out a dollar bill that the connection was fully made.
What?
When we first dug him out, we moved his clothes so that we could carry him more easily. Clothes weighed a ton because they were completely frozen over. By death, we saw the clothes without ice, and we could have no doubt that we dug out George Washington.
What?
Although Delaware State Hospital has declined to comment on the identity and the condition of the man, Grassman brought the bicone hat from the previous day to the Delaware History Museum, where historians confirm to be an authentic piece from the 18th century. The validation raised more questions than answers, as further research revealed that no Washington reenactors or artifacts have been reported missing.
What the hell?
Grassman believes that the man he dug out from the ice is the true George Washington, and the former president had become gravely ill while crossing the Delaware River. Grassman claims that the imminent death of Washington could have been devastating to the war effort, so his condition was likely kept secret by having a double acting as the president until 1797. And asked for an explanation to why the body had been found so far from the site of the battle, Grassman replied, "He either drifted away or his men purposely planted it far away so that no one could find it." During Saturday's morning
I know why
press
Wendigoon
conference,
likes this
President
now.
Dean shared his thoughts on the discovery.
President
He wrote,
Dean.
"I'm surprised."
That aired in 1976. Delaware River Journal ceased operations. Oh wow, the same year. Alright. The government was like, hell no, guys. Nope. Absolutely not. Alright, the Rockefeller tree tragedy. Another tree. This is the last one for the evening. Thank you so much for joining me. This one's significantly longer, though. I think it's longer than everything we've watched up until this point, so there's probably still a good bit of the video left. But I don't know. Thank you for all the support on the videos recently. It really means the world to me. I'm excited to continue. I also want to keep playing FNAF. I know that first video did very poorly in comparison to what I normally post, but I wonder if it would do better with a title and thumbnail that more fit my channel's new kind of title and thumbnail aesthetic. So maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll re-upload the first one. I'm not sure. I don't know. And if I don't re-upload it, I will probably make a part 2 and post that. If that also does really, really poorly, I might just play the series on my own time. But let me know if you'd be interested in seeing me play that or any other game. Because there's a few different horror games that I've been wanting to check out for a while, and doing this will like motivate me to do so. Plus, I like seeing other people's opinions on stuff while I experience it for like the first time, or even experience it again, or whatever. So yeah, all right. So this is the Rockefeller tragedy. Here we go. Virginia in Wonderland by Virginia. Recollection of the tragedy by John D. Rockefeller.
During the first winter of the center's construction, the workers set up a Christmas tree just outside the entrance. It was an uncanny sight to see a green fir stand in the middle of what appeared to be a no-man's land. But this tree, humbly ordained with strings of cranberries,
Cranberries,
and tin cans,
buttons and tin
greatly
cans.
affected me. It demonstrated that even in the darkest of times,
I like
the
this
American people were
voice
like
actor.
the beacons of hope. I thought it could be the start of a great and inspiring tradition, so I traveled north to
What's
Babylon
behind?
in search of a Christmas tree for the following year.
I keep feeling like I'm seeing faces in the imagery behind the main imagery there. Oh, now we're gonna get to watch Virginia in Wonderland, guys. By Virginia. This is a classic.
For 12 days and 12 nights, Mr. Rockefeller looked for the best tree in the forest. How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller?
Oh, this is messed up.
No, it's much too short. How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller?
I love trees.
No, it's much too tall.
Just sorry to pause it so quickly, but don't trees feel like very, like if you think about the shape, the structure, the what they do, sometimes they seem like very alien, very, very powerful, very ancient. I wouldn't be surprised if trees could communicate with each other. I'm pretty sure there's been multiple studies that's shown that in some ways they do. And they're just so interesting, and they're very awe-inspiring to me specifically. I really like being around trees. I'm gonna go haunting some forests. I love it.
No,
Anyways.
it's much too average. Mr. Rockefeller soon feared that he would leave empty-handed. Then, on the 12th night, just as he was packing
see
up
what
his
Charlie
stuff,
Brown did.
Mr. Rockefeller heard the sweetest tune in the air.
I mean, I guess he said everything I touch gets
It sounded
ruined,
as though the
but
very wind itself had fallen in love. He and his men followed the song and found themselves at the base of a very, very special tree. How about this one, Mr. Rockefeller? It's perfect.
it's perfect.
For the rest of the night, the men swung their axes at the special tree. Chop, chop, chop. However, when the sun rose, the tree was still standing.
Damn.
The axes had left no marks at all. Mr. Rockefeller was
Can you
surprised.
dig it up?
The next day, Mr. Rockefeller and his men laid 100 sticks of dynamite around
You
the
fools.
tree. 3, 2, 1, boom! Yet, the special tree continued to stand. Mr. Rockefeller was surprised. So Mr. Rockefeller decided to hire the best team of grave diggers to take the tree out of the ground.
Grave diggers.
After a week of digging, they told Mr. Rockefeller the tree will be out in 3 years at this rate. Mr. Rockefeller was surprised, but he decided to let the grave
Bro's
diggers work.
constantly
He picked the
surprised.
3 best
He
trees
never
for
knows
the
what's coming next.
Christmases. But by the 4th year, the special tree was ready to display.
Okay. Virginia didn't really show up all that much in that one, if I'm not mistaken.
For the last 2 years, I have seldom mentioned the tragedy that occurred at the center. Many have taken offense at my silence, claiming it to be the result of a desensitization to workplace accidents. Indeed, I have seen enough accidents for 3 lifetimes, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened at the center. For some time now, my friends have blamed the center's original construction workers for the tragedy, since it was their very
What
own
happened?
Christmas tree that had started the whole tradition. But the truth is that their tree brought joy and wonder to the public. It was my tree, and my tree alone, that brought about the unprecedented loss.
Bro sounds so devastated. Oh, we're just going back and forth. Okay, that makes much more sense. Maybe Virginia will make a more obvious appearance.
In Midtown Manhattan, Rockefeller's men slowly raised the special tree. Heave ho! Heave ho! Heave ho! By the afternoon, the special tree stood tall and still. It was unlike any other tree, having no color, branches, or leaves. The
Having
mayor
no
of New
color.
York, Mr. Guardia, thought that the tree was too bare and asked for branches to be added so that ornaments could be hung. Mr. Rockefeller didn't agree. He thought the tree was perfect, just the way it was. But since Mayor Guardia had been one of his best friends, Mr. Rockefeller told his men to glue some branches on.
Uh-oh.
I, Virginia, watched as the men placed branches on the special tree.
They're probably not supposed to
I had
do
saved my
that.
money for over 9 months to purchase a little star ornament.
Damn.
I wanted to be the very first person to decorate the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
You should be working
It lay
harder.
in my pocket while I watched. because I planned to hang my ornament as soon as the tree was standing.
Unless it's made of solid
After
gold.
the final branch had been added and all the men left, I quickly ran up to the tree. But to my astonishment, the lowest branch of the tree was over twice my height. I jumped as high and added and all the men left. I quickly ran up to the tree. But to my astonishment, the lowest branch of the tree was over twice my height. I jumped as high as I could, but still, the lowest branch was out of my reach. I was very disappointed. I wanted to be the very first person to decorate the tree, but now I had no chance.
That's terrible.
Unless
A ladder.
I called my friends.
Those are a lot of
At once,
friends.
I began counting my friends on my fingers. There was Helen, Charles.
Why does she have
Elizabeth,
friends on her fingers?
Alice,
What are these strange
Joseph,
disembodied heads
Elsie,
on her
Orville,
fingers?
Edith, Olive, and Philip. 10 friends that I could ask for help.
Holy
Then I
moly.
realized that 10 friends standing on each other's shoulders could put me at the very top of the Christmas tree.
Typical plot
My
of
star could be the first and the tallest.
Dora.
Without a second to spare, I ran from door to door asking for help.
How many friends do
Knock,
you
knock.
count?
Helen, are you there? Knock, knock, knock. Charles, are you there? Knock, knock, knock. Elizabeth,
Aw,
are you
little
there?
kitty.
Eventually, I gathered all 10 of my friends at the bottom of the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
This
I
is
told
gonna
them
be.
my
This
plan
is gonna go
to
so
have them all
poorly.
stand on each other and form
This
a
is
ladder
terrible.
for me to climb to the top. My friends understood my excitement, and they quickly started to climb onto each other's shoulders.
What good friends
Ow!
understanding your
Helen
excitement?
had stepped on Charles' fingers. Ow! Charles had stepped on Elizabeth's fingers. Ow! Elizabeth had stepped on Alice's fingers. After many groans and tumbles, my friends formed a sturdy ladder, and I began to climb.
Imagine being the one at the
I
bottom,
grew with
though.
every
You'd get
passing
crushed,
pace.
most likely.
Before I knew it, I was at the very top, looking down at the tree. My ladder of friends swayed back and forth, and occasionally felt like it was about to collapse.
Is the tree
But
going to
I
eat
tuned
them
out
or
the
something?
movement and focused on the
That's
tree.
going to be very sad.
Closer, friends, closer. Then I secured the metal star at the top of the tree. It was perfect. Hooray! Victory!
Is the
I'm
tree
first.
singing?
Just then, there was a strange sound. The tree began to shake.
Oh,
Its glued branches fell off all at once, and the entire tree slowly bent backwards. Soon, the very top of it touched the ground, forming a perfect arc. It was like a very strange rainbow. My heart sank as I saw my star gently slide to the ground from the tree's top. Bolts
aw.
of lightning then shot out from inside the arc of the tree.
We just saw
producing
something very
thunderous booms.
similar to this.
The lightning scared my friends and me. We all tumbled to the ground and ran in all directions, but the lightning caught up to us. I was blinded by a great white light. I remember when my eyes adjusted, I was in a field of special trees, and I saw,
Sorry, and I saw what?
and I saw,
Nope, nope, no. Give it to me. Come on. One man ran up to me and whispered, "The trees are not trees. It's hair from a giant celestial god."
I returned to the street where my friends and I had been struck by the lightning. We were all on the ground, being attended to by
They're
other
tendrils,
people.
tentacles
I
even.
had scratched my legs badly, and I could see that my friends were also hurt.
At least they're not
I
dead.
looked
That's
up
good.
at the Rockefeller buildings, and I thought that they looked a little different. The whole street looked a little different, and the special tree was nowhere in sight.
Damn. Alright, Rockefeller, explain yourself. Why did you allow yourself to be lured in by the siren trees?
It is only natural for the reader at this point to wonder why the incident has been referred to as a tragedy. There had been no loss of life, and, aside from a few temporary scorch marks on
Temporary.
the center, no damage to the surrounding property. I, too, assumed it was a mostly inconsequential event, likely an electrical accident whose effects were exaggerated by the children at the scene.
One of my least favorite tropes in horror media is when the main character, especially when they're kids, or even like teenagers or whatever, are trying to tell adults about what is going on, and the adults brush them off or act as though it's not important, or say that, you know, it's being exaggerated, or you just have an active imagination. Even if the tree didn't literally come to life, something happened, right? Like they were all hurt and whatnot. Anyway, I don't know. Happens a lot in horror media. It immerses you in this feeling that nobody believes you, which is something that I've experienced personally in a lot of different situations. So it's like it's a powerful feeling to believe something and have everyone around you tell you that you're crazy and that you just don't like know any better almost. It's interesting. Anyways, sorry.
Had been spared. A death at the center would have weighed heavily on my mind for some time.
But that didn't happen, so it just slipped my brain.
I counted the results of the children's medical examinations.
Oh no.
I wished that a death had occurred in place of the unfathomable.
I wish that death had occurred. Oh no. Oh no. Everything looked a little different.
My mom and Pa visited me at the hospital, but they looked completely different. Ma looked worried. After she wiped her tears, she asked, "Did you hang your bear at the Rockefeller tree?" I answered, "It wasn't a bear. I was going to hang a star." To which they asked, "What do you mean?" Pa asked, "Where did you get these clothes?" I answered, "These are my clothes, the ones you helped me put on this morning." To which they asked, "What do you mean?" My ma then asked, "Why are there dots all over your face?" I answered, "Those are my freckles. I've had them since I was little." To which they asked, "What do you mean?" My parents quietly left my bed and talked to my friends' parents. Then they all started to cry and yell.
This is
The nurses
traumatic,
made them leave,
horrible.
which made me feel better. None of us thought that our real parents had visited, but they all did feel familiar. Orville and Philip were especially shaken. They didn't even share the same last name with their parents. The nurses tried to convince us that those who had visited us were our parents, and that we would come around to properly greet them.
And the
as
nurses
they
were
healed.
stupid
But
and
it was
idiots.
hard to believe. Whenever I looked out the window, I saw that Manhattan looked different from memory.
What happened to them? Are they in a
Mr.
different...
Rockefeller himself was kind enough to visit us in the hospital.
Have they been switched to like a different timeline or version of themselves, do you think? Or have they just had their memories messed up? What?
He
I
asked
want...
us whether we were okay, and then after some time, he and the nurses began to ask us some very easy questions about American history. With every reply, they would chuckle and shake their heads, until I told Mr. Rockefeller who I thought he was. He chuckled at first, and then became silent, as if the simple fact had deeply affected him.
Oh no.
He had asked all my friends a few more questions about himself, and with each answer, he seemed a little more scared. Mr. Rockefeller quietly stood with the nurses for a while, before he wished us a Merry Christmas and left. That evening, the nurses took x-rays of us to make sure we hadn't broken our ribs. Usually, those taking the x-rays are more than happy to show their patients what the pictures look like.
Oh no.
When I asked to see them, the nurses ignored me. I didn't fall asleep that night. I kept my ear close to the wall to hear what the nurses were saying next door. I heard one sentence over and over. Everything's backwards. I wonder what they meant by that. I never told my friends because I didn't want to scare them. But I spent the rest of the night with my hand to my chest, wondering if my heart was ever on the right side.
That is genuinely quite disturbing. This series is so good.
For several weeks, the children were kept under observation at the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. I visited them as soon as I had the chance to. All the families of these children were deeply unsettled, but they had all independently come to the conclusion their child had been replaced by a doppelganger.
Oh dear.
They claimed that these new sons and daughters possessed substantial differences from their real children. The majority of differences involved altered physical attributes and the inability
That is so
to
fucked.
recognize familiar locations and characters, such as their parents and their homes. Two boys even claimed to have names different to those that their mothers had given them at birth. But of all the discrepancies, the most bizarre was their faulty recollections of notable persons and events. For instance,
The Mandela effect.
each of the affected children claimed that I had become the wealthiest man in America through an oil monopoly. It is common knowledge that I did indeed work at an oil refinery in my youth. But to entirely deny my 2 terms as president and insist instead that I had always been a mere philanthropist struck me as being particularly odd.
The fact that these
The
children
families were agonized by the children's behavior.
didn't know more about me
Some continued to search for their real children.
was very troubling to
I
me.
support their endeavors, but I do not believe that the children's afflictions were the result of hysteria.
He supports their endeavors. That's strange.
Every day, I find myself recollecting the day that I had selected the tree. I have since realized the difficulties involved in the removal of it should have repeatedly discouraged me.
Yeah.
And had I
Yeah.
been discouraged, the families of those children would not be experiencing the anguish
True.
that they currently have.
Thought, yes.
Perhaps
Let's
I
dig up a
never
tree
had
for
the
4 years.
opportunity to select another tree. Perhaps I was meant to select that tree regardless of my persistent character.
That's a disturbing thought.
Perhaps
Predestination.
we are all trolleys, forced to follow the path of the track to each of our destinations. I take solace in that thought. Or perhaps the tree chose me.
Wow. We've learned a lot today. Many, including my father, believe that the 1934 Christmas tree vanished. This is untrue. I have seen it wandering in the plaza on many occasions, and it resembles a man far more than any tree. Rockefeller Jr. We're gonna see it? Wait. That's not it, right? What was that? What on earth was that? Can I, like, look at it? Hold on. Something, it looks like something took a picture of us. Ah, that didn't give me any information. Okay. That was really good. I got so invested in that. That was really, really cool. Thank you so much for joining me. This is part 2 of our journey of discovery and education from the monument mythos. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about American monuments, and I think that I'm only going to continue to learn more. So far, a lot of the plot for like what we had seen up until this point has felt a bit kind of like a Monster of the Week disjointed thing. Each individual section is its own different just self-contained story. But in the last two that we've watched, it feels like there's been references and callbacks to other things that we have seen. And I think it will be cool if the series continues doing that and kind of ties some of what we've seen together into something more cohesive as a plot line. I could be wrong, and it will still be cool even if they don't do that. But it would be cool if they did. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a fantastic night. This has been really fun. I will see you tomorrow for some more spooky antics, and I hope that you are doing well. See you in the next transmission. We are Legion. The Daniel Profeta channel is made possible by supporters over on Patreon and by viewers like you. Thank you so much. Before I go, I'd like to welcome the new patron, Geek Filter. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you enjoy your stay. And I would like to thank all the patrons. Thank you, Kira, AJ, Dark Beast, Blackest Bile, Mangy Coyote, Cuba, Bat Noise, Phoenix, Hadley, Bees, Joy, Amelia, Boris, Panflute, Thomas, Audrey, Justin, Lou, Ray, ZK, Tom, Dave, Elkie, Stardrop, Nude, George, Joseph, Mr. Fox, JK, Kyojin, Drarko, and Jude Big Boy. See you in the next video. Goodbye.